Good morning and welcome to freezing Snetterton. Today I'm here with Radical and I'm driving their SR10 Racecar. So it's like the level above my SR3, massive engine. We're going to have a little look around the car. There's some really cool stuff here today, but let's go have a little look around. Right, I'm here with the SR10 and Dan Redpath, the marketing director for Radical, and we're going to have a little look around the car. Can you explain the sort of basics? What is the SR10? Give me the stats.
Sure, yeah, so it's the flagship SR car. It's 425 horsepower, 380 pound-feet torque from the 2.3 single turbo RPE engine, and it's a seriously quick car, quicker than a GT3, knocking on the door of LMP3 cars.
How much does it weigh?
So this is around mid 700s the car will be, so that gives you a power to weight ratio of 550 plus brake per tonne.
Can you think of a road car that's got that sort of amount?
Oh gosh, I mean, you'd be into hypercar type of territory, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's obviously the power to weight's one thing when you're in a straight line, yeah, but it's the slicks and the aero and the braking that makes the big difference.
Do you have a downforce figure for it?
I don't, sorry.
No worries. The figure I heard for an SR3 was 600 kilos at about 100 miles an hour.
That sounds like a sensible number.
That sounds about right. Like,
yeah,
at about 100 miles an hour, it could drive upside down in a tunnel.
Wow.
I think so.
I think we should try that, Sam.
We need to set up one of those things. The platform is very similar to an SR3.
Right, yeah. So this is a space frame chassis. Obviously on the SR10 for durability and usability, it's a car-based engine, yeah, rather than what Radical's really well known for, which is a motorcycle-based engine. Yeah. In terms of that slightly bigger car engine, there's a more durable gearbox on the back end, the Hewland TMT 200, which is a really robust unit.
And then if you're running this car, how often do you have to get the engine done? How many hours?
So typically on most Radical motorcycle-derived derivatives, you'd be looking at around about every 40 hours, which is around about a season's worth of racing with some testing too. On the 10, it's every 80.
Oh, okay.
So it's
that
significantly
is
longer, and it's great if you've got access to a private track, a private members club, like a lot of our customers in the States do.
I think people that are not used to race engines, one of the things that they go, 30 hours, that doesn't sound like very long.
Right.
Well, you only count it from when you turn it on, which is when you're driving out on track, and when you stop, you turn it off. So if you count, it's track time.
It's track time, and if you think, if you did a race at Silverstone, you're probably doing about 3 hours worth of engine time. So you've got well in excess of 10 Silverstones plus some testing.
A good season.
So a good season. Yeah.
Right, let's have a little look around here. And with the dash system and stuff, this has all been updated recently on 3s and 10 as well.
Yeah.
We've got the displays, and that's an optional AIM.
That's an optional secondary display. Exactly.
And then this car has some traction control and then different mapping.
Exactly, yeah. So the engine mapping has been revised for 2022. This is actually a late 2021 car. So with the revised engine map, we've got more torque liberated throughout all gears, throughout the whole rev range. Obviously, it's a pretty torquey and powerful motor. And then you've also got the Manatino where you can adjust. Yeah. So you can, if you're the first time in an SR10 and it's raining, you bring it right down to the lowest setting and just work your way up slowly. Obviously racing, you're going to go full flat. Yeah,
so we start in here and then we end up there, and then to traction control, we start there and end up there. Right, time for a drive. So, just got back in after my first drive in the SR10. It's quite funny. Like the last car I think I drove on track, okay, I drove my SR3, but before that it was the F40. And it has like F40 vibes, but with like so much more downforce. heavily boosted. It's got some traction control and it's got different throttle maps. And at the moment I've got a throttle map on like 5 out of 10. And the traction control I started on 5 and I've just been slowly winding it down, getting used to the track again, the car, the tyres, all of the stuff. Just kind of like pooling around, and I kind of forgot how fast you can go with some aero. But when the boost comes in, it's just like, and it's amazing actually, because in my SR3, on let's say a track day, you just don't have the raw speed under acceleration to go past people on the straights. So you kind of need to just carry it and then go past them. Whereas this, you can just put your foot down and off you go. It's, 450 horsepower, I think, and it weighs 750 kilos. So it's got a lot of shove, like a lot of horsepower, even though it's got a lot of downforce. But I'm gonna have a little break, I'm gonna have a coffee, and then we're gonna do a bit of analysis and get back out on track. It's quite loud here in Snetterton. There are other cars going around. Just been out for my second session. Now, I started playing with the mapping, turning the traction control down. First corner, too much boost, cold tyres, full like 360 spin. Managed to sort of semi-keep going, so it was alright, ended up pointing in the right direction. But it was fun to sort of push more, slowly getting faster-ish. But that turbocharged experience, and it has so much shove. Just like, you're arriving at corners so much faster than in my SR3, which is pretty weird. And because of that, you then have to brake more, which then unsettles the car. It's then also got weight at the back. So I had a bit of a moment coming into one of the corners over there where I had to brake a bit more, chuck it in, and had the back sort of want to swap ends a little bit. But yeah, it's really fun. I'm gonna have a bit of debrief with my coach, and then I'm back out in the car for a third session, which might be dry, it could be wet. Just got out from my last session, carrying much more speed. I was chatting to my driver coach Michael, who was saying I was basically braking too much because I was arriving in these corners so fast. I was like slamming on the brakes. What that does is unweight the car, and then you're not very balanced for then these high speed corners, and trying to either brake less for longer if you want the same sort of speed reduction, or just brake less, but be much smoother. Then when you turn in, the car's not trying to swap ends. That made a difference. It's also confidence that you can roll in more speed, because your brain's like, I'm not sure. even though I have previously, let's say, in the SR3, but it's just getting used to the different car. It was a lot of fun. I had a bit of a drag race with the Corvette, which hopefully there'll be a video clip. I thought I would just walk past this thing and it's like get to the corner and it's a different matter, but it was fun. Thank you very much, Radical, for letting me have a go in the SR10. It's really different to the SR3. It was very similar in terms of it's like so much aero grip, and it's so light, so like nimble, you feel everything, but it's got this absolute sledgehammer of an engine in the back, and it's super turbocharged. Like you really experience this sort of turbocharged experience, which is different. It's like, it reminds me of the F40 a bit, like just that turbocharging, and it's fast. Like if you're looking for a track day car, I'd say one of these over an SR3 for sure, because you've got the punch to get past people on the straights, whereas on an SR3 it's much harder to overtake on the straights if people don't necessarily want to let you past. If you're test days, you're fine, because you can always go down the inside on the brakes and whatever, and you've got loads of braking. But I don't know what the lap times were. I feel like just it must be quite quick. I was leaving a lot on the table for sure. But yeah, thanks Radical for having a go, and see you guys in the next video.